And so we start a new church year, a new calendar of our church in the season of Advent, in our anticipation, our preparation of the coming Christmas celebration of Jesus being born to us, and really, in essence, of God coming into this world in flesh to be our Savior. And so now we take the next 4 Sundays, almost 3.5 weeks until the day of Christmas comes, and that preparation, of that anticipation of us waiting for Jesus. One thing I forgot to pass to our kids, and they're all right there, man, just going to just walk up to you and just pass it out to you, but I do have little Advent directions, how to make your own Advent home wreath, that what we do here in church, line up our Advent wreath. This is something I encourage all our kids to do, and something I forgot to mention to them is that, today being the first day of Advent, if you don't have an Advent wreath, go, I was going to say Hobby Lobby, but they're not open on Sunday, so go to Michael's or go to Hobby Lobby tomorrow, and make sure you get the 40% off coupon from your app. Just a little tip from you. Buy 3 purple candles, 1 white candle, and 1 pink candle, and you can go along with the church, and not just families, but anyone can do this. And anyway, little devotions on the back of what you can be praying each week, what you can be reading and meditating on each week of Advent as we get closer and closer to Christmas. But this is a great way in which we can prepare for that waiting for Jesus to come. And talking about waiting, you might go think back to your child, go back to that past of your childlike innocence of things that you were excited to wait for. I remember my childhood, there are a lot of little memories, moments in which I was so excited for something to come. One memory I had was my grandparents were coming to visit us. I was just really little at the time. And aside from my grandma and grandpa who lived in California, I never saw them. They were coming to visit us for a while. And that day was the day, and my mom was telling me, I guess someday, Grandma and Grandpa are going to be driving in, and they're going to be visiting us. So I was so excited that I took my chair, and I set it right in the front of the house, where those big old windows that look over to the road. And I sat right there, and I just waited. And every car that went by, we lived on kind of a main drag, a busy road, and there were constant cars going by, and I just sat there thinking every car that went by, that was going to be the car my grandparents were going to be in. And one of those cars, one of these seconds, is going to not drive past, but it's going to drive right into our driveway, and I'd be so excited to see them. Of course, my mom had told them that, it was going to be like later that evening. So this is probably like mid-morning at that time, and, said, well, it's going to be a while. And it says, I know, but I'm going to wait patiently, hopefully excited for them to come. And I know all of us, we have our own, hopefully, memories or thoughts, or even today, the anticipation of something exciting to come. It's the anticipation of a trip you've been planning, that you're really looking forward to, or a vacation time, or maybe going out and seeing family, or maybe there's family coming to you that you haven't seen for a while, that or some good news that is going to come, maybe a promotion or a job advancement, or whatever it is. I think through life there are things that we know are going to come, something good, exciting that we have to wait patiently for. And that's one thing about our society, we have trouble waiting. We always want things quicker and right now. But it's always good, that anticipation, waiting for something joyful to come. Let's make Advent about that as well. Not necessarily for Christmas, but the anticipation of Jesus coming back to us. In other words, what really Advent becomes is a season for us as Christians, and a being part of this Christian community here, as they might go throughout the world, the anticipation and focus, the refocus of Jesus who will come back for us. As we go through life, as we go through work, responsibilities and regular activities and all that comes our way in this life, that in the midst of that, in our hearts and our minds, we are also looking forward to that future, that Christ will return for all of us. And so we need a season of Advent to do that, to be refocused about Jesus come to us. First is a focus of Jesus who first came to us on Christmas as we celebrate. 2,000 years ago when he came as a child born in Bethlehem, as a child to live and to grow, who eventually come to sacrifice his life and save us. But also the focus on he will return. That as he ascended to heaven, he promised his disciples he will come back one day. And we know that when he comes back, as Paul reminds us in 1 Thessalonians and other epistles, that when he comes, he will gather us all together. And then finally, we can leave this veil of tears and finally go back home to be with him for all eternity. But let us focus on Jesus. Maybe we don't have the same emotional excitement like the little 5-year-old Drew who was waiting for his grandparents to come. But we still have that anticipation to wait patiently and to focus on that road, waiting that one day Jesus will come and it will be his car that won't pass us by, but it will be his car driving into that driveway. One of the themes, and that was kind of the gospel, referring to the gospel, that always being prepared, that we don't know the time or the day when Jesus returned, but we always are to be prepared as Christians. But a common theme reading is that of Jesus' triumphal entry into Jerusalem. When you read that text, you see the excitement and the joy of the people, Jesus coming into Jerusalem. And the reason for the joy and the excitement is they have been anticipating. They've been waiting as a Jewish people for God to come, the Christ to come into this world to redeem his people. And all those people gathered at Jerusalem on that Palm Sunday, that triumphal entry of Jesus into Jerusalem, is that they were celebrating the King coming back home. Not knowing that as a king, in a few days, as king, he will lay down his life for his people. That's how he will redeem his people. But they were so excited for Jesus. They have seen his miracles. They have heard his teaching. They have seen his mercy and his grace and his power and his love. And now he's coming to Jerusalem, their cultural center, they're the center of their religion and the theology of where God dwells. Let that be our worship. Let that be our celebration every day as we wait for Jesus to come. But this is the struggle. What is the struggle? We don't like waiting. Or, as we wait, we get bored. And you can imagine that the 5-year-old Drew, when he was waiting for his grandparents, not knowing that it's going to be several hours, that, in my mind, I thought I was there for at least a couple hours, but probably after 15 minutes, I became what? Bored. I got sick of tired watching cars go back. Driving by. And after 15 minutes of watching that, and not having one of those cars, you just think, you're going to sit there, it's going to be any second now, but it's not. It's several hours that I don't remember what I did, but I know I didn't stay there for that long. I probably wandered off and watch TV, play outside, or do something else that was a little more exciting. That's the danger for us as Christians, that as we wait, we can get very easily distracted, or we get bored, and our hearts begin to wander for something else to enjoy. Now, it's okay to enjoy, it's okay to live, it's okay to live life, but let's not forget Jesus. not get distracted. Is to start to wander after other things. Especially during this time. This is why we needed Advent season. I think this is where Advent season becomes a very powerful time for us as Christians during the Christmas season. Because there is a lot of distractions, aren't there? Our hearts and minds do get focused on other things, especially materialism, which now this season has become, unfortunately, about materialism. It doesn't need to, it shouldn't be. Or it becomes a distraction about other things. A lot into expectations that during Christmas you should be with family or friends. You should be going to parties every other night or what have you, that you should be always filled with joy and goodwill. And a lot of people struggle with that because sometimes it's not a happy time. It's a very stressful time, there may be. Regardless, we get distracted, that we forget that what the season is about. It's not about us. It's not about what we're going to get for us personally. But again, what this season needs to be about is our focus on Christ who came for us for the first time. And that He will come again. See, the distraction, I think, becomes this. And I think this is always a distraction, not just this time of the year, but I think it's every time, throughout the year. Our lives become very, very secular. And I remember preaching about this before, this tension between living in the secular about being spiritual people. But I think we do get stuck into the secular. And the secular is simply this: living your life the here and now without any regards of God and His relationship with you. And we see that wherever you go. It's in our commercials, it's in our media, it's in our marketing, that there is very little, if not anything, about Christ coming or Christ in the celebration of His birth. Even during the Christmas time, very rarely do you hear the true Christmas songs about Christ coming. There's a lot of great Christmas songs. You got Rudolph, you got Jingle Bells. I'm trying to think of that. You listen to Christmas radio. I just started listening to now. Now it's Thanksgiving. I can put on the Christmas music, and we all love this Christmas music. There's nothing wrong with it, but 90% of it is what? It's just secular. It's cute, great tune, catchy, but it doesn't celebrate the birth of Jesus. Everyone knows what I like to watch during Christmas time, and that is what? Yeah, we've been binging it like crazy this last week. Watched 2 episodes last night. They're great. We watched one, was it Friday? The Graceland one. Don't watch the Graceland one. Not a good one. It's not a winner. But as I watch these tonight, I've preached on this many times. They're fun to watch. They're great fantasy, great stories. It's that perfect world, that perfect town, that perfect event of bringing people together, perfect love and perfect commitment, all these things. But they're also extremely what? Secular. And so with all these distractions, it's easy to get as focused on that Christmas is about something other than Jesus. And that's why we need the Advent season. That's why we need to light our candles. As we get closer and closer to Christmas, that every time we light a candle on our Advent wreath, it's a time to offer that prayer, "Come, Lord Jesus." And allow our hearts and our minds to focus on His Word and His promises. That Jesus is the truth. That He has come into this world. That God has come into this world for us. And that through Jesus and only through Jesus are we truly redeemed and saved and forgiven. That is, through Jesus we truly come to find out what love really is. And what sacrifice really is. And what the true gift of this world really is. It's only through Jesus. so starting today, let this be your prayer. You pray for Jesus to come into your lives. Let it be our prayer that as we go through the next several weeks, that Christ will be in our hearts and our minds. Especially when we come in contact with people who are being distracted, who are being hurt, or people are searching for truth and meaning. That we can share upon them the truth of this season. God has come for us. God will come again in His glory. So let us pray that prayer. Come, Lord Jesus. Come back for us. Come again and be our God.